Talking Tottenham, a fantasyfocus.com production.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 147, I believe, here at Danny Shakes. We got two nice slices here of ripe tangerines. We're just doing our thing here, Shakes. 20 goals, 4 conceded since we made the Tangies switch, Danny Shakes. We beat Zagreb today 2-0. Let me eat this other slice, and I'll let you wax eloquently here.
First off, love the kit, Bucky. And I love the hat. Kit plus cap.
All white.
Yep, all white.
No.
Just like European ball. I get it. I see what you're going for. I wish I was that coordinated with you. I'm wearing some light blue, like when I visited the Chatham region of like the Nantuckets and what's that called? The Cape?
Yeah, the Cape, Chatham.
Yeah.
They have a great, a nice little summer ball league. They play there, baseball.
Is that what that terrible Freddie Prinze Jr. Movie was about?
Terrible?
Was it like Cape League?
Yeah,
you know,
it was a
Summer
fantastic
Catch.
movie. Summer Catch, Jessica Biel in her absolute prime. That
Might have been
pool
Prime
scene.
Beal.
That pool scene had me going like something I can't even forget to this day. Like that was when I found love in a hopeless place. Was right there watching Summer Catch. Freddie Prinze Jr. underrated.
Whoa, I think properly rated. Beal
No.
underrated. You're right. Prime Beal going to Prime Bale, Prime Kane. Spurs again, victorious 2-0. Bucks, what'd you think of the setup?
We went strong, Adam. We definitely went strong. Obviously, with the Serge coming back, I loved what I saw from Serge today. I liked that he was back in the starting 11. I think Dyer and Sanchez did okay out there. Sanchez especially played well. Davis, he's Mr. Consistency. He's never going to be Mr. Speed Burner. He's not Reggie by any stretch of the imagination. Midfield, I like the tandem. I think Tanguy and Sissoko kind of works in a weird way. And it's
French connection?
The French connection, as you've dubbed it. And then front line, Lamella in there with Son, Dele, and Kane. All played well. I think every player on that pitch played well. I think the substitutions were a little bit late for my liking. I didn't love how late some of those came on, especially Harry Kane, considering it looks like he had to ice his knee afterwards on that last bit. It's like, just get Vinny in there. Let's finish the deal. Overall, I like the setup, though. I appreciate that we went out strong against Zagreb. We saw with Zagreb, they're a very quick team. They're pretty technical. And honestly, I was surprised at how they kind of came for our jugular right off the bat. They just darted up the seam, and we weren't expecting it whatsoever. And they had another chance towards the end. But setup, I was fine with. How did you feel about it?
Well, I know we talked about like all the changes that you'd see from this 11 from the past one during the EPL match. And I was just looking at my old lineup that I predicted here, Bucks, and we did have pretty much the back line. I didn't expect Serge back, so I had Tanganga instead of Serge. But we did call Sissoko and Ndombele. We did call Lamella and Dele playing. I just thought Vin would start along with Steve. Instead, just Son and Kane came out there. So it was way stronger than I thought. You were closer, I think, because you thought the big guns would come out and show up, and they did. And the good thing is when Spurs went ahead in the 25th minute with Kane and then kind of cruised, really there was one chance for Zagreb, early in the second half that really seemed to be threatening. Other than that, it seemed like Spurs were able to kind of like play their style, not stress over it. It did suck. Hoiberg picked up that one yellow, which means he's out for the tie or the leg next week. Hopefully, just that won't come back to to hurt Spurs.
Wait, that was his fifth or
that
third?
was
Is it
so
third?
He's missing the next Europa match, which
Shit,
you'd rather it be
real?
this match. I don't know. I can't remember if it resets into the quarters, but at the very least, it's next match. It's not first leg of round of 8, but. It's something where it just felt like Spurs were able to then pull Kane, let Lucas and Bale run around a little bit the last 20, 30 minutes. Son got pulled too in the 63rd minute, which is nice to see. Get him a little bit of rest because Spurs got a huge-ass game coming up this Sunday. And I just think like Spurs, kind of did the business that they needed to do, right? I mean, no away goals conceded. Sure, it would have been awesome to get that third goal, especially at like the last minute of that match.
Two
But
different chances.
I know
actually.
Bale had one, and then Vin I thought was going to score with like no time left, and that would have just put everything to bed because then score once on the road they need 5. Still though, if Spurs score 1 at Zagreb, then that means they got to score 4, and you just like that position.
I feel like we are in poised position here to advance, which is huge. Arsenal, who we're playing this weekend with a 3-1 win. So honestly, at this point, it's like feed me the scum. I want to eat all the scum. I'm like, basically at this point, the way I'm approaching this weekend is I'm one of the what do you call it? You have a pool. What are the little things that suck all the algae out of the pool?
I don't even know what that thing's called too. I call it our skimmer or vacuum, but
I'm a skimmer.
You're just the pool
right
skimmer.
Now. I want to just suck up that scum. Give me any opportunity to play them. Listen, I hope they advance. Obviously, they're in position, scoring 3 on the road. So they're in great shape as well. The way I see it, let's beat the hell out of them this weekend. Totally disorient them. I want them kind of like in Batman Begins, where you have Scarecrow just, doing the hallucinogens on them. I want them feeling like that after what Sergio Reguilon does to them this weekend. I feel like he's got a goal coming on. And then feed me them in the quarters. I want every
you
bit.
You want Arsenal. I love it.
I want them. And
you don't want them in like the semis or maybe even the finals?
God, can you imagine that?
That'd be rough. And especially if like Champions League's on the line because top 4 didn't pan out. You know what I mean? Like Spurs could still finish top 4, but could really mean some high stakes and like set the future for the next year or two based off transfers and incomings.
Yeah.
Could be rough.
The Athletic did kind of a breakdown of percentage chances on over 10,000 simulations of the remaining game.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We finished 5th. And I'm not a huge analytics guy. I know that you are. There's a part of me
data, Bucks. I eat data like you eat Tangies.
Shakes, I would do laps around you when it comes to data analysis, the raw data. You're a reports guy. I'm the guy that gets you the fucking report, Shakes. That's what I do. Okay. You want the report? I get you the report, and I'm underpaid for it too.
I'll take it a step further. I don't get the reports. I manipulate the reports for the good of whatever I'm trying to sell.
I understand that. Believe me. I understand.
No data is bad data, Bucks. Come on.
Yeah, it's like tax data. No big deal. Nobody's auditing this. Not this pod.
Nope. Come find me.
I want everything.
My alias, Shakes. No.
Yeah, Danny Shakes. You can't find the guy.
Good luck.
You have an easier time finding me though. Yep. But I'm not the one with the problems lining up on this side, man. I want Arsenal. I want them. Bring them on. I think we can pick them apart on the back line. I think there's this weekend. We'll get to the predictions for this weekend in the preview. So let's. I need to refocus. Zagreb.
Sorry, I know. Look at you. You're just getting ahead of yourself. So going back to how I thought it was like comfortable. Spurs played their game. Cruise 2-0. Sure, we'd like another goal or two, but really, it's like aside from the Kane knock, where I think they just put an ice on there for precaution. It seems like most of the players got through. It was nice to also see Ndombele get a rest. So all I'm thinking about is just looking forward to the Arsenal match, Bucks, because like even when Højbjerg comes in, I'm like, all right, I bet Højbjerg doesn't play like 100%. It's more like 80. Like he's not making any crazy challenges. I'm watching Sissoko play the entire match. I'm like, okay, that frees up Winks. That makes him an eligible sub if we rock out Ndombele, Højbjerg, or maybe it's even Ndombele, Winks, or Winks, Højbjerg to start. And then to get Kane a rest too, to get Vin in there, I thought was great. So, I mean, talking about this game, I thought first half, it was like the Eric Lamela show. Am I wrong with that? Mr. Left Foot? Who's got a crazier left foot, or who relies on it more, Lamela or Bale? Bale is the better player, I understand, but like who relies more on their left foot?
They made a stat announcement there on the Galazzo after show. Eric Lamela has not attempted a pass with his right foot this entire season.
That's impossible. Was that just a joke, I assume? Or
no.
Oh, Galazzo actually had a data guy that did this?
Well, I haven't done the data digging. I'm just a citizen over here, man. All I have is the different medias that feed me information. So I feel like the Galazzo was pretty accurate with their assessment there. 0 passes with his right foot all year.
Who needs a right foot when you got that kind of left, Bucks?
I'll tell you what, that the first goal, so let's get there. very good play. First off, the trapping of the ball by Delhi, bringing that down, controlling it, and then setting up. I don't know which midfielder it was.
I think after that, Davis, a nice pass to Lamella.
Yeah, it was Davis. And Lamella with that body screen and control of his feet to keep that ball controlled. What a nice little darting run into the box there, a little deke out on the man. Thought he was going to cut it back because he is left-footed. So actually the left-footed nature of Lamella kind of set up that little crevasse within the defense there. Took it, and I really wish that goal would have went in. It's always great to see Harry Kane scoring a goal, but I mean, that was so opportunistic. I don't think as a Spurs supporter now for 10, 11 years, I don't think I've seen a goal that has been that easy in terms of a deflection off the post coming directly to one of our men.
Like the inside post, yeah, and then setting them up. But it was just hilarious how Lamella managed to cut to his right, fool everybody, but then still kick it with his left, and then somehow get that outside curve with his left foot that you would normally get from an inside right kick. So even when he goes right, he still goes back to his left foot. And I know it's an easy goal for Kane, but he's the only guy that moves without the ball, manages to stay on side, and just scavenger hunts that shit. It's just amazing how he just seems to find the ball at the right place at the right time, and that's just what it is. That's part of in his DNA, and that's part of what makes him special, because not everyone moves when there's a shot going or the ball's getting deflected, but he just finds himself in those spots. So yes, easy put in, probably his easiest goal of the season. With that said, it just seems to find him because he just knows where to go.
He always knows where to go. I'm trying to think of an animal that is a hunter that might not be the most fleet of foot, but is just so tactful in everything that they do. What's an animal like that?
I don't know. I'll have to think this through. Because originally I was going to say vultured it, but he doesn't vulture a ton of goals.
That wasn't vultured.
He creates stuff. He picked the carcass on that Lamella play. He just, just came right in and just swooped in.
It's bare bones now, Shakes. There's no meat left on the bone.
Roadkill on the street.
It's like me on a nice rib.
I love ribs, Bucks. I can cook ribs well.
I don't eat ribs enough. I don't eat ribs enough.
I got this new tactic where I boil them for and it's like a light simmer boil for 35, 40 minutes, cake them with this awesome hickory sweet rub, and then I rotisserie them on the grill indirect for a remaining hour. They come out fantastic.
You have a built-in rotisserie for indirect heat?
Yeah. Come
on. Is this the grill that you built into this?
Yes, this is my built-in grill. I bought a custom-sized rotisserie that actually spins it for me. They're actually not that expensive, Bucks. They're like $40.
Well, you need the place to facilitate such a mechanism. I have a George Foreman and a Cuisinart 4-in-1. That's how I do my grilling. So,
well, you're in a lower level condo, lower floor. I mean, so it's not like you have
it's a simple man's life.
I meant lower floor. So it's not like you have a spot outside to grill, right?
I will own this. It's definitely lower class.
No, I don't mean it like that. That's exactly how it came out, but that's not what I meant.
Can I tell a brief story about
your place?
I've been having a hard time sleeping lately. And when I was a kid, I don't have much space to roam here, Shakes. You've been here. I mean, it's 900 square feet. Not much place to roam whatsoever. So when I was a kid, when I couldn't sleep, I would just go around the house to wherever there was a couch and test out the couch to see if I could fall asleep. 2 straight nights of not sleeping. Last night, it's 9:30. I went to bed at 9 and I couldn't sleep. So I just said, you know what? Screw this. I'm blowing up the air mattress. I'm putting it smack dab in my living room, putting the TV on, putting a little Gossip Girl on, low volume, of course, little Blake Lively action, little, I don't know who the other gal is, but it was sweet. I don't even know if it's Blake Lively, but it was a blonde girl, very attractive. It was a fun time. And I'll tell you what, I had the best night of sleep I've had in weeks on an air mattress in my living room. So I'm doing it again tonight. I'm sleeping in the living room.
All right, so if you turn the camera right now, would I see the air mattress set up?
Yeah, you would. You would.
You're and there it is, and it's got a Spurs blanket.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Bucks. Why don't you just have a TV in your bedroom?
I don't
Maybe that would
believe in
just help.
TVs. I don't believe in TVs in bedrooms.
But now you're going out of your way to watch TV to put yourself to sleep.
One night or 2 nights does not make a lifestyle.
Understood.
It was
But are
more
you
of a-
worried this could be a slippery slope type path for you where next thing you know, it's like you slept on the air mattress 22 out of 30 days in a month?
If that's the case, I'll sell off the mattress that I have. I'll make a nice little $200 on it and then figure out how to buy an upgraded air mattress.
Maybe you need a better mattress. I thought you just got a brand new mattress.
I do. It's not the mattress, it's my brain, man. I gotta refacilitate my brain. Work is tough right now, but that's beside the point.
Understood.
That was a good goal. I really wish LaMelo would have had that one because he deserved every bit of that goal. He deserved every last bit of that goal. He did the work. He screened off the player, made the run. Just really good stuff there. The second goal, what a nice ball from Tanguy and Ndombele, who is basically hobbled. I know that you weren't able to watch that first 20 minutes of the second half. Work priorities, of course. So Tanguy was kind of hurt, man. Like he got banged around today.
I did see that one tackle early in the second period, at least watching the highlight tapes, that drew a yellow card. And yeah, he got pretty smashed there. So
he got smashed like 8 or 9 times. He got killed.
But that's the way he plays, though, right? The way he wiggles free with the ball. If you're playing against, with all due respect to Zagreb, probably some midfielders that aren't used to his class, they're just going to bang into him by accident.
Sure.
Like they think they're getting the ball, and then it's hoodwink action. The ball's disappeared in front of them, and they're just like gouging them in the shins, looking for the ball that doesn't exist. So I'm not saying he's got to change the way he plays, Bucks, but it's kind of like, really, we've gotten this, I'm knocking on wood, this run from Ndombele where I'm not seeing injuries yet, and he's gotten back into like pretty good shape by his standards. So, you know, I really like us trying to figure out his minutes here and there. Just because
he's been crucial defensively as well.
Yeah.
He was fantastic in his run tonight. He was always tracking back. He was hustling his ass off, trying to find position. We were really tight and compact at the back today. And I think Tanguy and Sissoko had a lot to do with that. So I'm just giving credit on the defensive end to both of them because they had a major role to play.
Do you think he helps single-handedly like change their tactics in the first 5-10 minutes? Because they, like you said, were like pressing, trying to go down the wings. Next thing you know, free-flowing game, and Ndombele just 2 passes later, Spurs are going the other way. And they're like, well, we can't sustain this. Otherwise, this guy's going to pick us the fuck apart if we keep exposing ourselves. So the next thing you know, they're parking the bus, and then Spurs counter that by bringing Kane way deep, and they didn't know what to do with that. Like when Kane started coming back around midfield to get the ball, there's nothing they could figure out how to stop that. The Spurs had a few more chances. I mean, I thought 1-0 didn't feel like the right score. I thought it could have been 2-0 going into halftime.
Easily. Yeah. And then, you know, beginning of the second half, you had the should have been penalty call with Tanguy and Ndombele in the box. I mean, he just got booted. I'm not going to sit here and spend any time on it. It should have been a penalty. Have no idea how any sort of VAR referee takes a look at that and says it's not a penalty. You stick a man's boot, that is a penalty if you don't catch any ball there in the box. So it's beside the point, though. Tanguy played a great game. And that ball, after he was hobbled, I thought he was out for the count. And on a group chat, I was saying, you got to take Tanguy out here. And then Tanguy puts that perfect ball in. The recognition of Tanguy, how quickly he found Serge Aurier, who put his hand up. And it was like, that's another French connection right there. That is just a beautiful. We had a lot of French connections out there. 4 out of 11 today.
We've gotten quite French, Bucks.
Yeah, I love it. Oui. Je m'appelle Buck.
Was that I am Bucks or you were my pal Bucks?
My name is Bucks.
Okay.
Yep.
I never took French. Only took Spanish.
Yeah.
Mi amo down or shakes.
No, I would ask you like comment t'appelles-tu?
What something?
Je m'appelle Shakes.
Your name is Shakes?
No, I asked you what's your name. You are. Listen, This is a language that you should understand. It's the same as Spanish, and it's very similar to English. Je m'appelle. My name is.
Got it.
So, like, if it was Eminem, it'd be like, Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. That'd be the song. My name is. You get it.
I do.
Tanguy was the man today. Great ball in. Serge was electric today. It wasn't a great cross, but it was first timed in the air. Nice little ninja scissor kick that he put on that thing, as he's one to do. And bungles it. Defender bungles it. And then Harry Kane just says, hey, I'm going to take you to the candy shop. One more lick until you drop. And nutmegs the living shit out of the guy. That's the type of thing that I'm a Spurs fan for. Seeing Harry Kane body people.
Well, he bodied you and then he pantsed them. Like, even the cameraman was juked out. He thought it was going to be a kick originally, and then he pulls it back before the nutmeg. Pretty dirty, Bucks.
Can we talk about Harry Kane before we get into listener questions and Arsenal preview?
Just how he's the number one player of each match, and we should always give him credit for it, but for whatever reason, we just take it for granted.
I will admit, we love talking about everybody else but Harry Kane.
Well, it's just a constant, and he's invaluable. He's got no price tag, Bucks.
I think it's
invaluable to the club.
Yeah. I said it on a group chat with a bunch of good blokes over there in England and throughout the world. The Spurs boys, shout him out. I said, I don't think it's crazy to say that he might be the most complete player in world football today, especially with this, the way he's able to just go back and forth between being this basically a midfielder, setting everything up, and then a pure in the middle of the box striker. And he does it so seamlessly. But the assists, I mean, this guy, 37 games played for Spurs this year, 42 involvements in goals.
More than one a game.
That's incredible.
That's insane. And it's always the Kane show, but he's setting up other guys all the time too. And it's not like he's on a good run that way. He's just always been a really good creator. It's just now it feels like it's kind of like the second half of his career, right? Where he's really, really upping that one up versus just hanging out around 8 yards from the net. I don't know what else to say, except I just, like, even when they put the ice on him, I like had a, heart and mouth moment, but they took it off pretty quickly after. I'm sure he's fine. Doesn't matter. We just need Kane with one leg, similar to Lamella. It's all left foot then. It was Kane's right knee. What's Kane's right knee worth, Bucks? Like 200 million pounds?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's definitely insurance on that leg.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, the insurance agent got real worried for a second.
Are you the insurance agent?
Oh no, I wasn't. Could be.
Are you dabbling?
I'm not. That'd be a Lloyd's of London special lines insurance, probably, Bucks. I don't know. I don't think I'd write that.
It sounds like you've had a little inquiry about something like that, though.
We've insured some wacky shit, man. I don't. We don't take time to.
I bet you have. We're not going to go there.
We're insuring space launches, whatever. Different animal farms for different reasons, though, like predators attacking animal farm, like just all kinds of stuff that you would just never expect to happen.
Okay, well, hopefully a predator does not attack Harry Kane's leg in the next 3 days, because we will need him.
If it did, him and his family and the team are covered.
We just need to take some time from episode to episode to just talk how much we love Harry Kane, because we don't do it enough. It's so easy to leave him out of the conversation because he's such a stable force on the squad. And honestly, I think that's the thing that you and I do the worst job of, is recognizing those stable forces, because we're so inclined to sit here and say who really flashed, when really all season long it's been Harry Kane. And I will go on record. I will say, Harry Kane, I love you. And I think every Spurs fan absolutely adores everything that you do on and off the pitch. You're a stand-up guy. And quite frankly, I think you might be the best footballer in the world. And there's some bias there. There's definitely some bias. Like, would he beat Ronaldo one-on-one? No. But you put him in a man-to-man situation with 11 guys on that pitch, he's likely going to dominate the shit out of you with spacing, creativity, and just his overall ability to just dominate you. And it's a mental game with him. And the training that he's put in, it just shows. We're seeing a different animal even now. And this is a guy that's been doing it now. This is his 7th season for Spurs.
He'd start for any club and be their best player.
Or what? Is it 6th season? 14? No, 7th season.
7th
14,
season.
15, yeah. I mean, goddamn, he's just so consistent. So thank you, Harry Kane. Never leave us. Dear God, please never leave us, because I don't know what I would do without you. So that was the ode to Harry Kane from us. So
it would just get boring if we just kept appreciating him every podcast, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Let's take 5 minutes and talk about Chris Farley style, how awesome Kane was. Like, we're interviewing him. Like, when you did that, that was cool. That was awesome.
Harry, do you remember the mask goal against Arsenal? That was pretty sweet. Nice curler. Do you remember that one? Do you remember that midfield boot that you put on that one time? That was
in the Juventus exhibition match.
Yeah.
That locked up the community not the community shield. Was it the community shield?
No, that was the Audi Cup.
The Audi Cup that Sissoko got to raise the trophy for.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy, the Hog, played a good game, played the entire match. You could still tell the difference between him and Dombley and Højbjerg now, though, when it comes to moving the ball forward. That's where I just get it now. He's not going to probably feature in a starting 11 in a huge EPL match if Spurs are looking to play the current style they're playing. I get it. If you go to Man City, Carabao Bang Energy final, maybe you want him in there over Lucas if you're just going to really park the bus and get defensive. But the way Spurs have been playing Bucks the last 3 weeks, it just means Sissoko is probably the substitute that comes in for Ndombele if Spurs have the lead to help rock the baby to sleep and put the game away because Spurs are already up. Otherwise, he played well with Ndombele again, but you could just tell like it's lacking on the offensive end. And I don't know if you heard the announcer. They were talking about Kane and his like hat trick potential, and then he said something along the lines of Sissoko, I imagine, can only dream of hat tricks. Like it was just like kind of like a random little pot shot. I'm like, hey man, this guy's playing great defense, and every once in a while making a through ball, but you could just tell now he's third on our midfielder list. And I even wonder if Jose thinks playing Winks with Højbjerg makes more sense if Spurs are going to carry possession over Sissoko.
I think it does, but at the same time, I think Sissoko bodying all sorts of attackers is one of my favorite things.
Oh, I love it when he takes their lunch money.
He just
them in lockers,
schools them. He's a menace out there, man. And I think being a role player is what suits him best. And I think he's totally fine with that at this stage in his career, right? He's not a young man anymore. And he had that run 2 years ago with Spurs where he was so crucial getting us to the Champions League final. But we're looking at a guy now that's not on the upside of his career, but he's kind of cruising towards that twilight, baby.
Are you telling Musa, like, I love you, but I'm with Tanguy now?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. Like, I love the Hog. I will always love the Hog. And games like this, I thought he played decent, and that's all we need from him. We don't need a spectacular performance against a team like this. Where we might need him is down the road should injuries occur, and we need an immense defensive performance where, quite frankly, we're so thin at the center mid position or defensive mid, however you want to phrase that he would be called upon to act in those types of scenarios with an injury. But for now, I think he's more than happy to be a crucial part of engineering a run here in the Europa League, and that's totally fine. I had something to say though about.
Well, what I wanted to add to this is we were watching Ndombele and Højbjerg just play all these minutes together. Højbjerg still just plays every minute apparently, and in EPL play, and it's like, look, Jose, trust your bench a little bit, and he's gone to Winks with Højbjerg in that Crystal Palace match. Spurs look great, won that game pretty convincingly. You get Sissoko with Ndombele here, that worked out pretty well. I mean, now maybe you are going to see a little bit of a rotation where Jose trusts his guys and keeps them fresh. Because if you got this stretch run where you're still playing these European matches midweek and you got this EPL run, you're just going to have to rotate your guys a little bit. You're just going to run them in the ground otherwise, Bucks. And, I'm looking far ahead now. But, I mean, everyone's like, oh, if you bring Skip back, would he play now? I don't think so. I think he'd still be the fifth center midfield here behind Sissoko, Winks, and Ndombele and Højbjerg. So give him more PT over there at Norwich.
I totally agree. So this was a good match. 2-0. We couldn't have asked for a better result going into the second leg. Well, we could have. 3-0 would have been great. Penalty, a couple of goals maybe from Gareth Bale. The cross from Gareth Bale over to Steve on the outside of his left boot. I don't think there's many players in the world that pull that one off.
He said to me, Steve is snake bit, and it's probably true. Like Steve needs like a lucky ass goal to go in, and then I feel like 10 in a row will happen or something. Because he just
he needs
for whatever reason just needs just a piece of luck on something. Because he's there, and I thought he looked really frisky in the second half, Bucks.
I thought he was great in the second half. I have no problems with the fact that he can't score if he's going to contribute towards some positive movements on the attacking end. Let's get into our men of the match here, Shakes. Who did you have?
Number 1, Harry Kane. I think that's a no-brainer. Number 2, I actually had Serge Aurier, Bucks. And number 3, I had Eric Lamela.
Same men of the match.
Same order?
Kane. Yep, same order. Harry Kane, Serge Aurier, Eric Lamela. The stink badger incarnate.
He's back. Left foot.
He's so good. When he's healthy and he's feeling himself,
especially in Europe,
player,
like European play, like he just shows up.
Oh yeah,
Mr. European.
Argentinians love the European play, buddy. Just give us Gio back, and then we're fully fledged. Before we move on, though, how did you feel about Dele's performance?
I thought it was good. You could tell they were trying to really get him involved in the first half because he was trying to pick up the ball anywhere and everywhere. If the ball was on the left side, suddenly he was over there trying to pick up the ball. If it was middle of the park, if it was way far back, I mean, he was like alongside the center backs on one build-up play where he got the ball. And it just felt like Jose just kept trying to involve him. And it was fine. However, when Spurs, I think right now, are clicking in their best iteration of whatever this tactic that Jose is deploying, you want to call it, it's better when I think Dele is replaced by Lucas in that pest mode. Dele is still looking more to be a playmaker. And, he had a near header goal early, Bucks, just missed them. It was slightly higher for him. I forget who made the cross, but the cross was just out of his reach. But he can play make, and I could see why he would start over Zagreb, who, would probably concede possession, even though the first 5-10 minutes felt like an outlier. They pretty much parked the bus after that. So you want Dele out there kind of like around the outskirts of the box, but I don't feel like he made his stamp on it. I mean, really the goal came from Lamela and Kane. Bale, I thought, looked better when he got out there in the second half, and Sonny was more of a threat too, I thought, with his crosses and his direct running. It just felt like Dele did some things, but it wasn't some sort of vintage Dele performance. I thought he looked better the previous match he played. I don't know. Do you agree with me? Or it's one of those things where, like, if he had a goal, maybe it would really push it up a notch or set someone up. Then I would have been like, yeah, he was a little bit more all over the place. It just never felt like it clicked for him.
I agree. With our current set of tactics, it works a lot better with Lucas because I think Lucas is a more direct threat towards opposition defense.
He gets more steals. That's what I look. I mean, just plug him in the first, whatever it was, 20 minutes of the second half, or that he played those 20 minutes. It's like he had 3 steals immediately, like just changing everything right there. We're just going the other way. And that, Dele can do that, but not to the caliber of Lucas Moura.
So Lucas Moura in the current setup is essentially like the game Crazy Taxi, where you have this banged up taxi cab and you got to go from point A to point B. And this guy's just running over pedestrians, does not give a shit whatsoever about these people, runs them straight over, goes straight through the gully of whatever it is he's staring down, wherever the destination is. He's plowing through trees. He's going through canals. It doesn't matter. That Crazy Taxi is going to get to the destination. That sets up really well. You have skillful players like Son, Kane, and Bale surrounding you. And I think that's why it works. He's a lot more direct with the emphasis that he puts on the attack, meaning he wants to get those defenders on the back of their feet. That's what he wants to do. Dele is a lot more indirect, and that's where I struggle to see where he fits in with where we're really meshing right now. Because Dele likes to observe and very passively promote the play. Lucas is the complete opposite.
Yeah,
Lucas is like, fuck this, I'm going. And he's Leroy Jenkins. That's what it is. He's Leroy Jenkins. That is just Lucas going into the middle of a bomb field, and he doesn't give a shit what happens on the other end of it. And then Dele's a sniper, right? 2 different styles of play. both can work in different setups, but I have to agree with you completely. I think it's Lucas Moore in a landslide right now for how it sets up for the other peripheral attacking players on our side. It works better because he makes that defense pinch in on him really hard, and he doesn't give a shit what comes of it. He must have the memory of a dog. Like, he just doesn't care. He's going in every single time. Leroy Jenkins, crazy taxi. I've made like 16 analogies here in the last 2 minutes.
Call him an untrained puppy.
Untrained puppies pissing everywhere. It doesn't matter. Pissing all over defenders. Lucas Moore says, what's going on now? Here's my piss.
It would be like Lamella's playing well right now, and you ride the Lamella train with Bale too, of course. I think Bale obviously starts over him and Steve. But if you did see like the Lamella injury, it would be interesting to see Lucas still playing behind Kane and then Dele out wide, whether he's on the sunny side or on the other side, just because then you have another playmaker where Lucas is trying to free up the ball and get it to them. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, Bucks, too. But as of right now, the way the tactics are deployed by the team and they're getting the results, it's just you're going to see him in these European matches. I'm sure he'll start against Zagreb again because, he put in an okay performance, and Spurs will be up 2-0 going into that, with basically one away goal clinching it, making it 4 for Zagreb to get in order to surpass Spurs. So I just think you're just going to see Dele on the bench. With that said, I mean, it's good to know that you can turn to him and he's playing well enough to where I think he's actually contributing to the team. It's just best starting 11 doesn't include Dele right now.
I agree. And that's my boy.
I know it's your boy. I'm sorry.
On record.
Telling you Sissoko's out to pasture, even though he had a throwback game today, and Dele's still not starting 11 material. My bad, buddy. You're starting 11 material, Bucks.
Thanks, man. So
You're
are
welcome.
you. So
Thanks,
are you.
man.
Fist bump.
Back at you.
All right, so we get into
Cheers.
listener questions here. We have Zach Angelos. Captain
What's up, Zach?
Kane, huge day, always finds the net for us, but can take a minute to appreciate his ability to distribute the ball. Yeah. He's phenomenal at it, Zach.
Like I said, and Dombley started picking apart the team early. They sat back. Zagreb was like, we can't play open. And then Kane, what did he do? He came back to get the ball midfield, and they had no answer. They didn't know where he was going with it, Bucks. It wasn't like Kane comes up to pass back to the midfield or just look out wide. It's like he's taking it, he's turning around, and then he's picking someone out somewhere.
Well, this is the thing. I need to see that heat map again, because these Harry Kane heat maps are basically just like anywhere, all the time. He's absolutely everywhere.
You know, it'd be a cool, like, it'd be similar to a heat map, is like if they had basically like him as a dot, like on the pitch, and it's like an overhead view, and then they sped it up, like, so we watched it over 90 seconds instead of 90 minutes, and you watch where that dot went to, like a game of Pong all around the field, because it would not just be, like around the box. It would be everywhere.
Can someone let us know if that exists?
That would be so sweet. I want that. I need the analytics.
The heat map kind of gives you that vibe, but I'm with you. I want to see,
what I'm saying? Yeah, just going back and forth to midfield.
Yeah, like a time lapse dot. I like that.
He also like cleared the line on like a threatening chance in the first half. He just does everything.
He does everything.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. He's the best.
I think it was like their one corner.
Zach is also from Broward County, Florida, living in New Hampshire. And how does he get some tangerines up there? Hey, bud, just give us a shout. I'll get some Juicy Crunches when they're back on the shelves. I will just DM me, Zach. I will send you I don't know if we're in the same country, so I feel like we will be able to send
ag stuff like that. I think it works.
In the same country, I think
New Hampshire doesn't have Tangies. Like, just
they don't have the Juicy Crunches, man.
New Hampshire sucks. Just kidding.
Don't say that to my boy Zach.
New Hampshire, we love you. No state tax.
I will say I went to a nice quaint town outside of Boston in New Hampshire. They had this nice old school kind of covered bridge type of thing that was overlooking a waterfall. New Hampshire. Who would have dreamt it?
I don't even know. Do they have state taxes? Wait, it's New Hampshire.
I would assume that New Hampshire has state taxes.
No income tax on wages and
salary.
Hell
yeah. Boom. That's why you're there, Zach. You are living right now. And if you
no sales tax. How do y'all make things? How's the infrastructure paid for over there?
There's zero sales tax in New Hampshire.
5% tax on interest and dividends. State has no sales tax. This is all Googling. They got super high property taxes. Yeah. Rent only over there, Zach. Rent.
I don't know what Zach's doing, but all I know is he's got a sack of juicy crunches coming his way. Hit us in the DMs at TTPodCoys on Twitter. For anybody watching this, if you're enjoying yourselves, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter, TTPodCoys. You can find us on YouTube at Talking Tottenham Pod. On to our next question here, Danny Shakes. Ben Jones coming to us from Ipswich, UK. Davinson Sanchez, a.k.a. Dave, just seems to be finding his confidence at the right time of the season. Is he now our number one first choice center back?
So probably rationale with asking that question is because Toby got the rest today. Dave stays in there, plays with Dyer. Dave got the clean sheet anyway. So I would say he is number 2 still behind Toby. The only reason you saw Dyer play today is because Toby is getting up there a little longer in the tooth buck, kind of like your boy Shakes here. Like, it hurts when I roll out of bed nowadays, like my back. Yeah. And, or, air mattress for you, I'm sure.
Is it because the bed is just so vast that you have to roll for an extended amount of time? Or
no, and I even got like one of those pillows now, like one of the rigid pillows for your neck.
I have one too. I hate it.
Getting old, but yeah, I need it. I still think it's Toby. We just are really being super duper cautious about Toby's minutes. But I think I have Dave. It's just clear cut number 2. I mean, Dyer was always 4 for me, and I didn't know where Rodon fit just because we never see Rodon play. But it's Toby, Dave. The weird thing is, I think Jose is kind of over the Toby Dyer experiment just because he knows he gives up pace. And Dave, when Dave is on, he is probably Spurs' best defender. It's just you worry about the lapses, and then kind of Toby's a little bit better in possession. He's better at the diagonal crosses, I think. So Toby 1 for me, Dave 2, but he is closing the gap. Dave is.
The more I think about it, though, what I've seen from Dave over the last 3 weeks is a guy that's gotten a steady run. That pinch out that he had in the opening series there, I think it was at like the 6-minute mark, where it seemed to me like he was kind of lackadaisical getting back when they had that breakaway. But in reality, he was just timing it so that guy was completely off his line by the time Dave approached him. He just put enough pressure on him to where he knew Hugo had his lines covered. He was good to go. And I'm just going to put pressure on this guy to put a little tapper in there at him. That was a great play by Dave, and that's showing that he's kind of maturing in a very, very short amount of time here, because if this was 2 months ago, Shakes, he's flailing all around trying to figure out what to do with that guy with the ball, and maybe he's doing just a head dive, swan dive, straight into the dirt, jaw first. We've seen that before pretty recently.
Yeah, that was off that Ndombele turnover, right? That's where, Spurs, when they first started, like 3 minutes in, didn't look great. They were a little shaky, and Dave just steadied it right there. He's the one guy that makes that play kind of look easy, though, out of the Spurs center back rotation, I would say, right? Because his pace is just unmatched compared to Dyer and Toby, and we're just not seeing Rodon play in this match. So that's why he's out there, Bucks. Just if you're going to play your center backs up high, he's the one that can recover if there's ever a mistake made.
Yeah, so we got a comment here. From Top 10, 1987, great year. Davinson keeping things calm and simple is working. Totally agree.
Exactly. It's when he's got to think about it, or he's being asked to do something a little bit more outside the box.
He looked good. He looked good again today, and I say, go ahead and just beat the shit out of Arsenal this weekend. Throw him out there with Toby. We know it's going to be Toby and Dave. It has to be Toby and Dave this weekend.
Barring injury, Bucks, I'd be shocked it's not Toby and Dave. Knocking on wood.
I don't think there's injuries there. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. Just like slipping off the plane. It's not even a plane because they played in London. They lived at their house.
They're taking a bus there, Shakes.
Taking a bus. I don't know. I'm just worried. Just something that could happen.
I will say
they're gonna have one training day between now and then, right? There's gonna be one tomorrow, or
no, they'll probably train Friday.
Yeah, they'll train. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. Shit, it's Thursday already.
It's tough, man. When you play Europa, go Thursday, Sunday.
I've worked
so maybe a Saturday turnaround. Yeah, you just weekends upon you, and you had no idea.
No, I've worked like 48 hours already this week, man. No joke. So I still got 8 more to go tomorrow, and that'll turn to 12 before I know it. But that's great. So yeah, they'll probably train on tomorrow a little bit. Probably train Saturday. I don't know what their training schedule is. This isn't a training pod. We talk about the games.
This is about practice.
It's Allen Iverson. We're talking about Toby and Dave. I think that I would say right now Toby is the number one, simply because of the experience. Spatially, I think he's superior to Dave. Physically, though, I'm going to give it to Dave. I think Dave, from an aerial perspective, is a better player. I also think that Dave, with the speed, it's a good pairing, and the fact that they're kind of finding their feet together, it feels good, and it's coming together. I mean, 20 goals, 4 conceded over the last 7 matches, 1 loss, 6 wins. That's all really good stuff from that pairing, and it hadn't mattered who we've thrown out there on the fullback side because they're really holding it down, and Højbjerg has a big role to play there as well. But I'm going to go with Toby. But Dave he's barking at him. He's like, Dave is kind of like the younger dog that, he's kind of trying to get schooled by the older dog. But then all of a sudden he beats the hell out of him one day, and Dave's reigning supreme.
I mean, this is where credit to Jose. I mean, a month ago, Dave had that run where Man City looked bad. Was it Everton? He also didn't look great. I can't remember now the matches, but I mean, I was out on him. Like, I didn't know what we were out on him. Because at that point, I was just like, well, I don't trust Dyer. I don't trust Dave. What are we going to do? We just got to play Rodon, I guess, even though I've never seen him play except for him, eating shit against Liverpool when he just like perfectly chested it to Salah to put in. So, yeah, I mean, credit to Jose to keep it sticking with Dave. And Dave's just raw talents, are unmatched compared to the other guys.
I mean, the guy's been starting for Colombia for 3 years now. So there was something there.
Well, like,
we just need to tap into it.
It's like you forget, like, he was on Roma, right? So they're talking about him like in the finals of Europa against Man U, and I'm like, that's right, he'd play in that match too. Like, it's like you just think about all these matches that he's played as well. In addition,
I don't think Dave played for Roma. I thought it was Ajax.
Was it Ajax? Then whoever Man U played in Europa that they beat.
I swear, Davinson is from Ajax. Let me just Google it real quick here, folks.
Oh man, you're trying to call out Shakes. I like it.
I am. He was Ajax. I knew it. I knew it, Shakes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Nope,
Question here from Nathan Keller.
They did play in the finals of Europa.
Do you think Tangy eats Tangies from Nathan Keller?
For sure.
Oh yeah, the guy crushes Everybody that listens to this show, you have to understand this. The minute that we flip the Tangies on everybody, that's when we started rolling. It's Tangy time. It's also Tangy time, but more importantly, it's Tangy time. Load up on the tangerines, folks. I don't care what breed of tangerine you're getting, right? You can get a Tangelo, you can get a tangerine, you can get Shakes fancy. What are they, cuties, Shakes?
Yep.
You do the cuties.
Organic cuties.
Yep, organic cutes. You can also get the what are the other ones? The halos.
Halo gold.
Halo golds. Yep. Do whatever you got to do, but get some citrus up in you because we are on a very good run right now. And I have to say, I think the catalyst might have been the Tangies. I said this in a tweet. It's the Tangies that bind us. All of you. Anybody out there watching, listening, loving on Spurs, the Tangies bind us all. Get on board or be prepared to get run over.
I bet they crushed Tangies at halftime, Bucks. They pass them around like it's
this isn't. We're not 8 years old. They have all sorts of different.
They probably have like
supplements.
Yeah, scientific like Tangy, like that gel stuff that's supposed to give you like way more energy.
Is that what they put on Dyer's split nose today?
I don't know. Yeah, did you see that? He was getting like the Vaseline rub down on his bloody nose.
All right, we got 2 more here. So we got Big White Hart Lane. Shout out Big White Hart Lane, one of our favorite listeners. And they're always so eloquent. That's the thing I appreciate about Big White Hart Lane's comments. They're fantastic. After a few early sparks from Dinamo, we slowly exerted our authority and hold on the game. Personally, I thought Serge had a really good game, offering width and the danger of his cross, as well as being good, granted, against a lower class opposition. What did you make of him?
I mean, I had him second, my man of the match. Actually, Bucks, I wrote down in little tease to my starting 11, Doherty as starting right back. And I really think Serge coming back was just like showing Jose, look, I can play a full 90. I'm going to be effective out there, and I'm going to give you something to think about. I'm all the way back. I'm off this injury. Start me in the North London Derby. So I think now you could see Serge start over Doherty, even if Doherty was the one that got rested. It'd be a tough move by Jose on the turnaround, but I think now he's got something to think about.
So I think the control with Serge is the thing that we need to take away from this. He's a controlled player now. You know, over the last 3 seasons, we've seen a guy that at times is so it's hard to say the word, but he's confounding, I think is the proper word for it. You can't really make heads or tails sometimes of what Serge is doing, but he seems very controlled in everything that he's doing now. He's quick to hustle back. He's quick to get back into position. He's great when a man comes down the left flank. He really is. He's doing everything that we wished he would have done when we signed him, and he's doing it at an extremely high level. Now I get into the attacking portion of it. That's where I was most impressed today. He was clinical with his touches and his control of the ball once it got on his foot. I saw the guy just absolutely giving their left back fits every time he touched the ball. Serge never had his pocket picked one time today. He put in some really effective crosses. That's a part of his game that he's started to refine. I don't think he's anywhere near, like TAA or, some of the really class crossers of the football, but he puts it in there with a lot of urgency, and there's a little bit of touch and panache to it that we didn't really see early on from Serge. So big shout out to him. I mean, I know, scraps on the second goal there for Kane, but that happens because Serge was able to corral that ball on the fly, put it in the middle of the box, and see what happens. Shakes, what is that prescribed to?
Keep blasting?
Just keep blasting, Shakes.
Right.
You know exactly the medicine that I need, Shakes.
That's absolutely your medicine. That and Tangies.
I need Tangies and I need blasting. 2 things. When I wake up every morning, what do I think about?
Why am I sleeping on my air mattress?
After that point, Shakes.
Just air mattresses with just Tangy rinds littered across the living room floor.
I won't lie to you. There's some Tangy rinds right next to it. I wake up and I think about Tangies. I think about blasting, and Nathan Keller. I think about attacking box. That's what I think about. There's no doubt.
That's right.
It was written. It was written.
Read your mind.
Yeah, I love this. And then we have a last one here from, I believe, Ian, who's joining us here live. Thank you, Ian. Thoughts on the possible home kit for next year, which is an all white, no trim. There's 0 navy trim on this. This is a straight up throwback. All we have is the new school Tottenham crest, a Nike check, and that shitty red A1A, AIA, whatever you want to call it.
You almost wish that could be navy. Like,
well, of course,
not that it makes it that much better, but
so it's a Chinese company, and apparently red is like the celebratory color of Chinese culture. So it means like good. I think it means like
good fortune, good wishes.
Good fortune, good wishes. So that's why they refuse to allow us to pivot from the white kit with the red. But we've done well with the
navy kits and the other, they can go white, I guess, with it.
We've done well with the red.
Yeah. No, first off, I love the kit. To me, like when you can keep it simple and classy. You can't do that every year, Bucks. So that's why I kind of like the throwback to this for this coming year. Can't always keep it that way though, but I like it. It's just clean.
It is clean. I hate the deep V-neck. Like I like a tight V-neck like the one I'm wearing now. This one just seems to like, it would almost let out my nipples, Well,
we might have some men with some really intimidating chest hair. Maybe that was thought of.
I just hope they clean up the collar look of it, which they might. And it always looks different when it's just something hanging there. I love it, Ian. I'm a big fan of that kit. That's how it was meant to be. You watch any footage from the 70s, 60s, even the 80s up until we got into like this type of kit here, 1986. or this might be 84. Not sure. It says somewhere on here. But before we got into the Hummel era, which you got all these sweet, I don't even know which arm is which, but you have the nice, I don't even know what you call that.
Like the arrow half chevron?
Chevron. The chevrons on the Hummel kits. I love the chevrons, by the way. I think chevrons make a kit. This is one of my favorite kits of all time. I love this kit.
Maybe they'll make a comeback in a future
Spurs
wild kit.
Hummel is all over this kit. You can't see it, but in the actual stitching, it's just Hummel everywhere. It's wild. They put their stamp on it.
Let the people know.
I love it because I think it just is a throwback.
I like the older logo too.
I do too. I wish
that would have been pretty sweet if it was the older logo and just the pure white kit. That would have been banging.
Oh man, if we just went to a throwback,
just throwback logo on just a pure white kit.
Yeah. Damn, that'd be good. But it's gonna look so good when we're wearing white on white in Europe because we're going to the Champions League, Shakes. I have a very good feeling about it. At the very least, we're back in the shit box known as Europa. But I'm having fun with this shit box. I'm like a cat. You could throw me the greatest toys in the world, but if you just throw a shoebox, a shit box at me, I'm going to have the best time of my life in there. And that's what I'm doing right now.
It's like my son, man. He's got 4,000 toys, yet he'll play with the box the toys came in more than anything.
That's a good kid.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I mean,
he's a great kid, Bucks.
You cutting holes in it so we can have a fort?
Oh, yeah. In fact, we got him a teepee now. So like he's got like this tent that he can like hang in, and then he shuts the door when he's mad at you and he wants to hang out by himself.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So most times the door is shut, I assume.
Just a retreat. Like, what are you doing in there? Then I'll collapse it on him, and then he's not happy.
That's good, man. That's good. Let's get into it. We got Arsenal on Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure what that translates to in England. I want to say 4:30 or 5:30. I don't know if they jump with us, but we jump. So what would have been an 11:30 start is now a 12:30 start here on the Eastern time zone. I am fired the fuck up, Shakes.
Bucks, I'm already nervous. Like an excited nervous. Because I think really both teams play well. We kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I just think, fine, both teams play well. Let them play the best of their abilities. Spurs come out on top. No funny business. No crazy bullshit from VAR, from the refs. Anything like that, Spurs win. I'm confident right now.
Here's the thing, though. It's been a very long time since we last beat Arsenal in their home.
This is true. However, last year, Spurs did draw against them.
2-2. We had a podcast.
2-0.
Podcast was titled Spurs 2, Ars 2, Beers 2. It's a 2-beer pod.
Usually there are 3 or 4 beer pods for me.
Well, today is a 3-beer. I'm happy today. 2 words from Jerry McNeil. Harith Kale. Terrifying.
I bet Harith Kale starts.
I can guarantee I'm
going to call that now.
Harith Kale, yeah.
Unless someone slips off the bus again and hits Sanchez, and we just have an absolute problem. Looking at Arsenal's form, Bucks, just real quick.
All right.
Lost 1-0 to Man City on February 21st. Then I'm going closer to today. Europa, they squeaked by Benfica 3-2. If you remember, they came back. They scored 2 goals in the second half in order to advance. They beat Leicester 3-1, which I thought was a pretty good result for them. If you watch that game back, though, Leicester had a bunch of chances. It just didn't go their way. Arsenal capitalized on theirs. Credit to them, but it probably wasn't as one-sided as that score indicates. They drew against Burnley, which was awesome. Love Sean Dyche just taking points off of them. And then they came back but we're just a much better team in the second half today against Olympiacos. So their form's not terrible is where I was going with this. Basically 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. Granted, the loss was a 1-0 loss to Man City in their last 5 games. Spurs, on the other hand, they've won their last 5. Just making sure everyone knows that.
6 out of 7.
Yeah.
We're playing well right now. We are playing. If we go out there, if we play with the same mentality that we've approached the last 5 matches, this should be easy, open and shut for us. And it's never easy. That's the problem with being an American sitting here, thousands of miles away saying this should be easy. I know it's never easy. And I totally respect, the magnitude of this matchup. It is huge. And we feel it over here too. I can't stand that club. And then you get in the housing shit that's going on with all these things that they had chartered.
Did you read that?
It's appalling. So they're still the landholders, yet the actual tenants are responsible.
Well, even if they're arguing they're not 100% responsible, they need to like go to bat for these tenants and hold the builder's feet to the fire, or whoever they want to, hold responsible.
It sounds to me like they're just saying, hey.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, it's just the ground we've always owned forever.
And the ones that we chartered for building. We chartered this whole thing. We engineered it. So that's beside the point. It's scummy behavior. We shouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, why not help the people that are probably a lot of Arsenal fans? They're like, this is sweet. I get to live basically on the grounds. This is
guarantee you, mass majority of folks there love the shit out of Arsenal.
Yeah, of course.
But those are the only people in the world, and now you're basically just alienating the hell out of them. Why go into that fortress that Stan Kroenke built? Why
did you read the Pochettino piece on The Athletic about his tactics and all his his like Zen stuff?
I at this point I was kind of like, damn, dude, I would get burned out on that real quick.
I was thinking that too. He's like, all right, time for you all to walk on coals. I'd be like, really? Do we have to walk on coals right now? Like, can I just focus on like the tape?
Trust falls.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Is this summer camp in 1998 there, Poch?
It's like you're running a failing company as CEO, and you're like, what can I do to like shake things up and motivate it? Next thing you know, you're coming up with these circle trust bullshit things. And I don't know. It's not what I expected. They talked about his tactics a lot and positioning and the pressing and all that stuff. But then they talked about his like love for Zen and like the energy from the universe. And that lost me. Lost me.
I feel like Poch went to one Carnegie Mellon management session, which was, and the title of it was Harnessing Chaos and How to Do So. And he just like, fuck it, we're walking on coals, boys. That's what we're doing today. Trust falls, all the like. We're going to beat the shit out of Arsenal, Shakes.
I think it's happening. What's Arsenal going to throw back there as their backline? Are we going to see?
I don't care.
David Luiz or
Chris Holding,
or who played today? Gabriel and Luiz played today. So I don't know, Bucks. I mean,
it's going to be Holding, and we're going to massacre that guy.
Rob Holding.
Is it? I thought it was Chris.
No, Rob Holding. But
I like Chris. I'm going to call him Chris.
He's like just Chris. Wait till Chris has two headers on set pieces.
That's not good for us. Don't start
on the left and right. They played a strong lineup today. Now that I'm looking at it, Ed Saka out there with the Aubameyang. They did hold back. Lacazette came in later, and so did Ceballos, and then ESR. So, I mean, both teams played strong hands today, and seemingly came out unscathed and took care of business in Europe. So they're probably feeling confident as well. They know Spurs are coming to their place, but they're about to get their teeth kicked in.
If we play the way we've been playing, I don't see any other result. I really don't. I think we have such good continuity now with the back pairing, right? Center pairing is looking really good. I think Serge, let's get into 11s. I got Hugo, Toby, Sanchez, Serge on the right, Reggie on the left, and Ndombele, Højbjerg, Lucas at the 10, Son, Bale, Kane. Recipe for an absolute storming of Emirates Stadium.
I had the same exact lineup minus Serge for Doherty, just because it might have changed my mind today watching Serge. If he came out of this and he's okay and Jose saw that, I'm sure he's like, well, that's a better dynamic for Spurs here playing against Arsenal. But he might just think Doherty on a week's rest and him having pretty good gameplay the last two matches by his standards, not world beater, not at all like Reggie on the other side. I think maybe Doherty gets the start, Bucks. And to me, this game just comes down to Reggie.
I think Reggie.
It doesn't just come down to Reggie. Kane could, set up two and have two goals, and Ndombele could boss the midfield. Højbjerg could just clean up everything. Bale could be Bale again. But I think a dynamic that Spurs have that's very new to this whole thing, in addition to Bale, is just Reggie on the left-hand side too.
I think Reggie is the ultimate difference maker. I made that very apparent last podcast. That
just the Reggie love on this pod.
He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players. I love that guy. I think he's going to be a huge hit in this match. I got Spurs winning 2-1, Shakes. I think it'll be a very tough match. They always are. It won't come easy. By no means will it be easy. But if there's anything I've seen out of this team the last 3 weeks, they have a want to them. They're having fun. And when you're having fun, Shakes, what do you usually do?
You keep lasting and you win matches. I
was going to say you go to Hooters, but.
Oh, sorry.
They're going to Hooters after this game.
Do they have Hooters over there in North London?
Let's make one. Let's franchise one.
I'm in.
Let's get an original Hooters. Now that would infringe on Chick King. We don't want to do that. But like any good club, when you're having fun, you're going to celebrate. You're going to have a blast playing against this team. And that's what I think it is, man. I think you see all these videos in training. You see the way that Lucas is interacting with the media and having a really good time. Bale also basically saying like Harry Kane is one of the best players I've ever played with. They're gelling. We're gelling right at the right time. Let's make that run. It starts and ends Sunday. 2-1 Spurs. March on.
Arsenal's campaign or any dreams at all of top 4 die on Sunday, Bucks.
Top 4?
It was already fleeting, but I'm just saying it's dead. It's dead on Sunday.
DED dead.
DED. And it won't get undead or any of those other terms that get thrown out. It'll just be DED dead.
What's your score line?
2-1. Lucas frees up a ball in the 85th minute, gets it to Son. Son swings out right wide to Reggie. Reggie crossed to Kane. Kane buries it with a header. 2-1 Spurs.
Who scores the first one?
And Domblé.
I love that. My goal scores. I got Højbjerg with a blaster.
Like Liverpool?
Oh, yeah. I got Højbjerg and Bale.
I think that's one a year. I don't know.
I got Højbjerg and Bale.
Okay. It would be great to see Bale do something, just fuck them up again. He's like, remember me?
That would make my entire day Sunday.
If he scored and went to the camera and said, I'm back. What do you think?
What about Sissoko coming in as a late sub, hitting a 25-yard curler? That was really a cross. That was destined for the left-hand side.
Yeah. Just clangs off the post and in. Just no chance at all for Leno. Yeah, I mean, that could happen too. I'm looking at Arsenal's position. So they're 38 points. They also have a game in hand, but there's just so many teams between them and top 4. Yet I'm sure their Twitter and their fandom, they all still believe like, oh, we're stringing some games together. It's out there, but no, it all ends on Sunday.
Big win for them today. It was a big win for them today. Yeah.
And you could tell with that lineup they put out there, they understand Europa is probably their ticket to make it all happen for Champions League for them. But let's just bury it for sure and make sure they're aware. Like the dream is over in EPL.
Nathan, I just saw this comment here. 25-yard curler into the 8th row.
Luckily, there will be no fan there to hurt. So
Nate Dogg. No. If the 8th row is the back of the net, consider me in.
Well, don't forget, Nate, it's a very shittily done stadium where the 8th row is far. Like you gotta really go for it to hit the 8th row there. Yeah. The way they built that thing. Like it hosts track meets.
Nice comment there, Jerry.
Like that one. They are Dallas Cowboy fans.
It's going to be a tough match. We got to put all the chips in. We just got to say, listen, if Jose beats Arsenal twice in a single season, that is a huge accomplishment in my eyes. And that's something in and of itself that I think could propel this team. Look, we dominate North London.
Yeah, I mean, Poch only did it once, right? Because there was an FA Cup or a Bang Energy Cup where Spurs won at Arsenal in addition to beating them. That might have been 2017,
I'm talking about
18.
in the league. I'm talking about
I mean,
6 points. Just taking the 6 points from them. That's what we need. We got to have it. And this is what we will wrap with this comment from Nathan Keller here. I wish we were at home, because I couldn't think of a more insulting situation than a Sissoko banger followed by Sandstorm. Hey, DJ, Sandstorm. Yes, sir. Play that shit. Spurs 2-1. Danny Shakes. Sign the people off.
It's the North London Derby, and let's go. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Get it done. Beat scum. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at TT Podcoys.